Have you ever had one of those days, or let's be real, maybe one of those weeks, where you feel like you're just going through the motions? You're doing all the things you're supposed to do, working, talking, eating, but you feel kind of absent, like you're not really there. Well, today we're going to unpack that strange and unsettling feeling, what I call the autopilot effect. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's this deep, weird sense of detachment. You see your own hands typing, you hear your own voice talking, but it feels distant, like you're a spectator watching a movie of your life instead of actually living it. It's so surreal and disorienting, and if you've ever felt this, trust me, you are so not alone. So, what is this feeling exactly? It turns out this isn't just some vague sensation we all get sometimes. Nope, it's a recognized psychological experience, and it has a name. It's time we put a name to that numbness. And that name is depersonalization. The clinical definition calls it a state of detachment from yourself, your feelings, your body, the whole shebang. But here's the most important thing to get from this slide. Depersonalization isn't the actual problem. Think of it more like a big, flashing warning light. It's a symptom, a major red flag that your mind is signaling it's dealing with some serious stress and burnout. This is the perfect way to think about it. Imagine your mind is a car that's been redlining for way too long. The engine is about to completely blow out from all the stress. So what does your brain do? It yanks the emergency brake. It detaches you to protect you from being completely overwhelmed. It feels strange, but it's actually a survival mechanism. Okay, so we know what it's called, but how does this whole autopilot thing actually show up in our daily lives? Let's break down the 6 most common signs, because just being able to recognize them is a huge first step to understanding what's going on. All right, so there are 6 big ones to look out for. Let's walk through them. So the first 2 signs are really 2 sides of the same coin. On the one hand, you've got that observer feeling. That's the external view, watching yourself from a distance. But at the same time, on the inside, there's sign number 2, this profound emotional numbness. Good things can happen, bad things can happen, and you just feel flat. There's this weird barrier between you and your own emotions. Now for the next pair, which is all about control. Sign 3 is this overwhelming sense of helplessness, this feeling that you're just a passenger in your own body and something else is driving. And that leads directly to sign 4, which is what we call true autopilot. This is when you suddenly realize you've driven all the way home from work or you've cooked an entire meal with absolutely no conscious memory of doing it. You were there, but you weren't there. And the last 2 signs get really deep into this feeling of being disconnected from your own self. With sign 5, your own memories start to feel like they belong to a stranger. You know they happened to you, but that emotional link is just gone. Then there's sign 6, which is physical, a muted sense of your own body. Food might taste bland, touch might feel distant. It's like the volume on all your senses has been turned way, way down. Now, I know after hearing all that, it's pretty easy to feel a little freaked out. But this is where we need to shift our thinking. Because understanding this feeling isn't about diagnosing some permanent condition. It's about learning to read a very important message from your mind. This is a signal, not a life sentence. This right here, this is the most important takeaway. Feeling this way is not a flaw. It is not a sign that you are broken. It's your brain's very logical way of saying, hey, system overload, we need a break, right now. It's a protective measure, not a personal failure. So let's just wrap this up with a key takeaway, right? Depersonalization is just the symptom. It's pointing to a much bigger issue, which is usually chronic stress or burnout. The magic happens when you recognize that symptom for what it is. That's the first step. It's not some mysterious fog. It's a very clear message from your mind that it's completely overwhelmed. And that's the thought I really want to leave you with. Instead of being afraid of that autopilot feeling, try asking yourself this question. If your mind has taken the controls because you're just too exhausted to fly the plane, what is it trying to tell you? The answer to that question might just be the first step to taking back the controls and getting back in the pilot seat of your own life.